Good morning. Apologies for the technical difficulties. How's everybody doing? Good Monday. Welcome to Trading with Sergio Monday edition. I have some news. But before then, StreamYard is going goofy. Hope you guys can see this. So if there's anybody in the chat, can you guys please put a thumbs up that you can see me and you can hear me? I'm going to wait until that happens. Otherwise, this may not be working. Can you guys hear me? Put a thumbs up. Can you guys see me? Put a thumbs up. Anybody in the chat? I don't see anybody. So I'm going to wait for that and do so you can hear me. Are you hearing me clearly? And you can see me. Okay. How clear is the sound? Because I have a new mic that I'm testing. I am not sure if it's going to work out this way. Loud enough? Clear enough? Okay. How about the sound or video? I should have tested this before I showed up today, obviously. Any thumbs up? No thumbs up? Yes. Testing. 1, 2, 3. All right, thank you, Doug. That's what we want to hear. Okay, that means everything else is working. All right, good morning. Welcome to Trading with Sergio Monday edition. Why is it the Monday edition? I may be doing more live streams during trading hours. Maybe Tuesdays or maybe every day. Just impromptu. So please, for that reason, subscribe and turn on notifications so you can get notified, I guess. What is going on? Well, I have a Telegram chat group that I posted this morning about 6:45. It was a pretty active day, actually, of trading. Got to pay attention to what's going on. We'll get to that in a minute. But so, I thought maybe I'll just do more live streams all times of the day during trading hours. We'll see how that goes, depending on what the crowd wants. Let's go with what's happening this week before we get into the positions. I have a hard stop today at 11. Actually, 10:45. I have a call at 11 that I must attend to. What else is going on? Let's look at the news. What's happening this week? Okay, this week, Tuesday, tomorrow. President Trump's favorite person, Fed Chairman Jay Powell, speaks. I don't know why he does. He says the same thing every single time. I don't know if it makes sense or doesn't make sense, but, we'll see. Also tomorrow, ISM manufacturing PMI data. Friday markets are closed, so I know you guys will be bored, but it's one less day for expiration, so figure that out. Everything expires on Thursday if you're doing options, weekly options, not Friday. So be careful with that. And Tuesday again, JOLTS job openings. On Wednesday, ADP non-farm employment data. And on Thursday, June jobs report. So last time the June jobs report showed up, everything was fine. The number beat as usual, but the previous month was revised as usual. Everything gets revised in our world. So, those are important numbers. Markets at an all-time high. We're back to the 2023-2024 grind up, looks like. Not much volatility today. Just opened up, just sold off a little bit, and back to all-time highs. But more importantly, market being all-time highs doesn't mean anything to anybody's account, honestly, because, well, Unless you're passive investing and only in indexes, then it means something to you. Just keep grinding higher, which is the right thing to do if you're a long-term investor. But if you're a trader like me, as well as a long-term investor, which with two separate accounts, an investment account and a trading account, when I'm trading, I said this to my members group every single time. FYI, if you do want to become a member, please click join. It's on the YouTube channel. Email me, Sergio@sergioavedian.com. I will send you the Telegram chat group link. What do the members get? Members get, first of all, a lot of information and education. They're learning how to fish themselves as opposed to me throwing the fish at them like little seals. That's a joke. Don't get offended, members group. And what else? Yeah, and then they get a members-only live stream every Wednesday, additionals, where we can do one-on-one, face-to-face kind of an interaction. The learning gets more accelerated, actually, and they have access to my trading live, like on the spot. I will execute the trade and then post it on the Telegram chat group. None of this is trading or financial advice. What I do is not for everyone. What I do works for me. It may or may not work for you because, like today, I put out a video at 8 in the morning. I had 11 positions that I'm managing, right? 11 is quite a bit, but I'm not doing it because I'm bored. I'm doing it because I think it's proper. There are times to press with more positions. There are times not to press. And this is one of those times, but this morning I was trimming quite a bit. And this morning was actually today so far has been the perfect day. All my shorts, I short things actively, and I also go long things. So I have a balanced portfolio, try to always keep a balance. Trading account, not portfolio. On the long-term account, I'm long, net long, always long. So long story short, all the shorts were going down, all the longs were going up. So what do? You trim. Because, as some of you may know, most of you should know by now, there is one number for me that's the most important thing. One and only. Unlike other folks who say this is important, that's important. No. There's one thing that's important. What is that? Your net liquidation value, net account value, equity. I trade on Think or Swim, upper left-hand corner. It's getting marked to market every second of every day. So if I have 11 positions, some are doing well, some are not doing well, some are losers, some are winners, but overall, I made the analogy of a supermarket basket. You guys can go check that video out. I'm trying to put a beautiful meal together, and that meal gets adjusted, right? I add a little bit of this, take a little bit of that off, but at the end of the day, at the end of the week, I'm trying to be profitable. And the only measure for that is your account equity. You look at your account equity. If you have $1 more than you did yesterday at the close, you did fine. So that's what I look at. I don't look at anything else. Obviously, I look at my buying power and things like that, but those are secondary and tertiary. I'm not going to be too involved with this position, that position. I allocate correctly. I size correctly. I risk manage correctly. If you do all those things, you will be a good trader. If you go YOLO or HODL or do all these other things, you're not going to be a good trader. You're going to blow your account. But market being all-time high helps, obviously. But then, even in a market that's an all-time high, there are things to short. You know, when I go through the positions, I closed one of my short positions today. Beautiful trade. You know, quick 5 points on a stock that's been going up on a tear. Now you're going to say, well, why are you shorting these things? Why don't you wait for pullbacks and buy? Yeah, I will do that. But when I also see things getting out of control, I do short things. You know, I'm not against making money. You know, all those little trades, well, not little, but, you know, all those trades that you pick up a couple 3K on, they all add up at the end of the year. So, yeah, that's where we are. And so let's see who's here. Traveler, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Doug, good morning. Okay, Mr. Premium of the Option says, happy Monday, happy Monday. Cash check your puts printing. Yeah, sure. No problem. You know, cash check your puts are printing. But how many more tools you have in your toolbox? Now, for your cash secure puts to print, the underlying must be going up, right? What would have happened if you had directionals? What would have happened if you had synthetics? So you need to pay attention to that because, it seems like a lot of people are, one-trick pony. I'm not against cash secure puts. If you're just after 1%, 2%, 3% a month or whatever, no problem. I'm not doing it for that. I'm doing it for beating the benchmark by 3, 4, 5x, and with risk management, obviously. And if you're not going to do that, then you shouldn't be trading. Cash secure puts are one thing. I'm not criticizing by any means. I hope you're doing well. What I'm saying is that how many more tools do you have in your toolbox? Cash secure puts is more like options 101. But it's valid when the market's going up. How did you do when the market crashed with those cash secure puts? How many times can the market come back and save all these cash secure put sellers? Right? So you need to be really balanced, and when you're trading, and I take pride in being balanced, and that's where we are. So did I mention everything? I did. So Friday, I'm not obviously doing power hour, so I'm going to do it on Thursday this week since the markets are closed. But what I may do is I may test for the next couple of weeks doing live stream, shorter versions, maybe an hour or so a day. But, do it daily maybe if I have the time. Because I'm trading, looking at the screen anyway, might as well look at the screen and then trade at the same time. So which we can do. We can walk and chew gum at the same time. So what else is going on? I read the economic macro data that's coming out this week, pretty light, other than the unemployment numbers coming out on Thursday. 3-day weekend, 4th of July. Hope all your accounts are at new all-time highs. Since the market is a new equity all-time high, your accounts should be at a new equity all-time highs. If you're not, then there may be something wrong. All right, let's do a trade along. Absolutely. Are you going to come in today? Okay, you know what? Let me put okay, I have a hard stop at 10:45 today, but we have enough time to chat. Let me put the link up. If you guys want to come on for a quick hello and chat, I am not against it. And here's that. There it is. So let me go through the positions then. Last time I messed up, you guys were watching my face while I was talking about my positions. Not today. There it is. You guys can see this, right? Yes. Okay, cool. So let me go through it real fast. Okay, let me bring Mr. Marcio on. Mr. Marcio. Greetings from Florida.
Florida.
Let me do the positions real quick, and then we'll come back.
We'll talk. I'm gonna put my cell phone on stop can here so I can't finish long.
Okay, just put yourself on mute then. Okie dokie. You don't have to leave. You can put yourself on mute. Okay, so let's go through the positions. Here we are. Okay, so let's start from the top. I'm gonna go quick. I was short 800 shares of ASTS at 52.08. Those are the days that I like, days like today, that all these shorts are going down, all your longs are going up or participating. So I was short 800 shares of ASTS, average cost 52. I had sold 50, 49, 48, 47 puts. Weekly puts, 50s got assigned. So I'm going into today, I was short 500 shares, covered them with an average of 47. Quick 5-point trade, 800 shares, 4K, no problem. 3-day, 4-day trade. Second position, Webull. I trimmed some of my short puts today. I'm short. I was at 25 puts. I'm down to 10. I'm short the July 12.5 puts. Stock is 1165. I trimmed some more today. The cost is 205, taking small profits. So these two next ones are naked strangles or short strangles. I put these on. I traded around it, but then I put them on again. I have a naked strangle on Circle. Stock is 180. I'm short the 120 July expiration 120 and 140 puts. And I was short the 340. I mean, this is with two options. The amount of money I made on this is absolutely ridiculous. But I sized correctly. I could have done 10. I didn't. I should have, but I don't do that. I don't do YOLO. So I'm short two of the 140 puts, expiration July, 120 put. I'm short two of the 320 calls, and I'm short one of the 330 calls. I was short the 340 calls, which I sold for $35, bought them back at $6. Now I'm just kind of narrowing. I start wide, and then I go narrow with these naked strangles. They're just going to melt away. And if by any chance it gets to 140 or 120, I'm definitely willing buyer. I'll circle at 140 minus all these premiums I took in, or 120 minus that. Next one is core weave. Same thing, naked strangle, one lot, July expiration again. I was at 125, 260. When I did the stock was about 200, 185. No, 185 at the all-time high. Stock right now 163. I bought the 340s back with profits, obviously, and then I rolled down the calls to 220. So I'm at the 125, 220 naked strangle or short strangle. I am short 25 fuel cell July 7 puts. Average cost 135. For about 160, 157, no problem. Am I willing to get assigned at 7 minus 135, which is 560, which is exactly where the stock is? Absolutely. I was short puts. Luckily, I covered those last week. On GRRR, they did a secondary today. I'm long 20 call debit spreads, 30, 40 call debit spreads. A little bit of a loss there. Not concerned. Again, overall equity is the key. Here comes a beautiful position. We made really good money on the members group and myself as well. I am long a synthetic with a call debit spread. I'm short 20 of the August now. These are August 20 puts at 288. They're down to 2. Overall positions up about 3K. I'm long 20 calls, August 20 calls, and I'm short August 28 calls. So that's the call debit spread. So basically, when I sold the puts at 290 range, I spent some of the money to put on a call debit spread. So I just started shorting this. In fact, I'm going to short another 50 shares now. I started shorting SEZL. I'm short 100 shares. It's on 180.5. I shorted 100 shares, 178.45. I'm going to short 50 more shares because the requirement on this is absolutely ridiculous. It's 200%. It's eating a ton of my buying power. So I'm going to short 50 more shares here. This is how you do. You scale in, folks. You don't go nuts. Okay, that's done. I will short more if it goes higher. So you're going to say, Serge, why are you shorting? Well, we'll look at the charts and we'll go through that. So now I'm short 150 shares with an average cost of 170. What do we do? Okay, buying SMCI. That's good. Okay. I was long 80. July 55 calls on SMCI. I sold them with profits this morning about 145, 155 range. My cost was about 125. Now I'm starting buying 5 lots at a time, going into August 60s. I just bought 5 more at 245. I'm up to 25 lots. I'm shorting SoFi. You guys may call me crazy, but I am. I have shorted 800 shares so far. Average cost 1860. Stock is 1873. I have another 200 shares to go. I'm shorting that at 200 shares at a time. And 1895 is the next one. I'm long a put debit spread on SPX. It's 6,059.75. It's a little bit of a hedge. Next one, I'm short 500 shares of TSSI. Cost of 3040. Stock is 2840. But I sold July 18th expiration. $30 puts at 3.5. So that's basically the opposite of cover call. It's a cover put. You short the stock, short the put. If the stock is below 30, I will get assigned and close the short position automatically with profits. Last but not least, I am long 3,000 shares of WRD with a cover call position. So I'm short, I'm long 3,000 shares at 816. My cost is much lower because we've been trading this. I don't really keep track of it. Since it's first in, first out, Thinkorswim is messing up the cost basis, and the existing 3,000 shares, my cost is 816. Stock is 786. I will add to this without a question, but I sold July 10 calls at 40 cents. They're down to 30 cents. I hate cover calls. I said it a million times during my members live, and my members know how much I love cover calls. I absolutely can't stand cover calls. So all the positions are working out. New equity all-time high for sure today. Whatever happens, not much is going to change. Oscar, I have a target of about 23.5. If it gets there, I will close that position out. That'll be a nice profitable trade. SEZL, I will sell puts. Once I get up to 300 shares, I'll sell some at the money puts because they're ridiculously expensive. In fact, let's take a look at that for a second. July 18th, 180 puts. July 18th, 180 puts are $13. Yeah, I'll take it. So the way I do that is I'll short the stock, I'll sell the put. All that premium is mine. It's basically like a cover call, but it's a covered put. If the stock is 180 or below, I'll get a sign, close my short, but I'll keep the premium, obviously, just like an opposite of cover call. So don't get too confused. But I'll usually give it a chance before I put the puts out, just like I did with ASTS, just like I'm doing with TSSI. Yeah, I mean, you let it work for you a little bit, and then you put the puts out, and if you get a sign, you close the short position. That's how it's done. Have decent buying power still. Not concerned with any other positions, honestly. All I need is fuel cell to kick in. If it does, it does. If it doesn't, I'll get assigned on July 18th, and that's where we are. Okay. Okay, we bought 5 more SMCI. I like that. Okay, we're just scaling in, which is fine. We shorted that. Okay, that's fine. Short SoFi, that's fine. Okay, so that's where we are, folks. All righty. Okie dokie. So let's see Mr. Marcio's pretty face. How are you, sir? You're muted. You're muted. You're muted, Marcio.
Not even my wonderful mother would tell me that, but I appreciate the compliment.
Oh man, come on, man.
I was a very handsome man many ages ago. I think right now we're keeping it together.
Hey man, that's all that matters.
I have a question for you.
Yes, sir.
I was obviously you'd be very proud of me. No paper hands. I'm holding everything, right? I'm letting the trade play out, and this is something new for me to kind of just say, let the numbers go.
Okay.
We'll won't make any adjustments. But let's pretend that you open a synthetic.
Yeah.
And I opened the synthetic. I think the environment on Lulu was the wrong. I needed to wait for the bottom to form before entering. I don't mind owning Lulu at 250, so that's why I entered it.
Okay.
But it got a little sketchy there. We were at 221 at one point, so we're $30 per share lower. It's $3,000. It's not the end of the world. But when do you bail on a synthetic? So, for example, you have.
First of all, I will never do a synthetic on a downtrending stock.
Let's just pretend it's an uptrending stock. So that I got because you mentioned that to me, and that was perfect.
Yeah.
But let's pretend that I find an uptrending stock.
Okay.
We do the synthetic.
Yep.
What's your stop criteria in your head to say, okay,
when I'm doing a synthetic,
working, I'll pull out the trade?
Absolutely. So when I'm doing a synthetic, I'm doing it off basis stocks that are like Oscar, right? Okay, we did that twice already. Look at that chart, right? OSCR is the symbol.
I'm opening Oscar right now on my Thinkorswim.
Okay.
So Oscar, let's take a look at the daily chart here quickly.
Somehow you got darker. I don't know. Did your light go out or something?
No, I mean, if I tell you what happened to me this week, you will laugh very hard. But I had a massive ankle sprain and ended up in the hospital with just horrific pain. My pain
What
is.
did you do? Did you write a check your body cannot
I
cash?
got
Your brain?
I got a new pair of shoes for my
Uh-huh.
birthday,
Uh-huh.
and I decided that it was a good idea to take a 3 mile walk on a brand new pair of shoes.
Yeah,
So
good luck. Okay.
it
Yeah.
was not good. So
Okay.
Oscar on the daily chart. Let's take a look at it.
Yes.
There you go. I have it here. So obviously it blew up, right? It's
Yeah.
blown up.
Mhm.
It bounced back at that $18 level. Now you keep
Okay, so let's start there. So last time I was long the July 15, I was at the July level. I was short the July 15 puts, long the July 15 calls.
Mhm.
And then when it broke out, went it did what it did, took all the profits on the pullback to 18. I went in again to the August 20s now. Short
Got it.
August 20s, long August 20s.
And when did you enter the first trade? Because it was they had
When
a
the
bottom
stock
of
was
around
about
13
14 and
bucks,
a
right?
half, 14 and a half range.
14 and a half. So you took that because they did a double like a double clear double bottom
Yeah.
at that level, right?
Yeah. And then, but so to answer your question further, when I do a synthetic, I always, my first thought is, am I able to do this with a credit? I have to manage a credit. And am I willing to get assigned?
Got it.
Even if it breaks down, I'm willing to buy Oscar because I did it with
At
about 80,
14
90
bucks.
cent credit to the put side. And then we got out with $2 credit to the call side, right?
Got it.
So that's my first thought. When I'm doing a synthetic, am I willing to own these shares? Period. That's the first train of thought. 2, is it in an uptrend or is it basing? The reason I do it with credit, if it keeps basing going sideways, that credit is going to be my gain because it's
Of
going to
course.
expire. Both sides
Well,
expire worthless. I'm still ahead of the trade, but I want it to obviously run, right? Because that's the double whammy you have. And then now, when I roll to the 20s on the pullback, right? You wait for a little pullback, breakout, snap back, low volume. Then I went into when the stock was 1870, actually, I sold the 20 puts and sold the 20 August 20 puts, bought the August 20 calls. Now
so
we're in the second leg. Now we're going higher.
You did a like that's a Super Bowl at $20, right? So you just did like the most aggressive trade you could do.
Absolutely. I do sell, I told you before, I do sell in the money puts.
In the money, yeah. That's what they need to learn to do with you because you're doing the money and you are, I think what's interesting, you're actually predicting the trend, right? You say, okay, it's going to go up. And
The trend is up already. It broke out, it pulled back. Why would I go sell 17 and a half puts? It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. The second question I have. So obviously the trend is our friend.
Yeah.
Are you using the 200 MA as a reference point? I'm above the 200 MA. This may be an uptrend. I'm below the 200 MA. Is that the traditional, or you kind of look at
just to start with? I will not touch too many things that are under the 200 MA.
The 200 MA, got it.
Because there's a reason for it, and I don't want to be the one to find out.
Yeah, for example, if you look at Lulu, right, just for the sake of it, let me add a moving average here because I'm setting up the Thinkorswim was all crazy last week, and I actually had to reinstall it, and I was with the Thinkorswim team on the phone forever. So let's see, moving average, exponential. I'm going to put an exponential just for the heck of it.
Yeah.
And I'll change the thing here. So 200. Perfect. So right now, if you look at the chart, we are way below the 200. Way below. We are like crazy below the 200.
Yeah.
So we're probably
just like Nike was.
Yeah. Well, you know what, Nike, I told you I made a mistake. I had no idea it was earnings. I sold the cover calls. I will never sell cover calls again. I want to kill myself. Oh my God, the freaking cover calls. I should tattoo on my forehead. I hate cover calls. Let me tell you a funny story. My greatest day in the stock market was Starbucks. I think I told you the story.
Yeah.
I forgot to sell the cover calls. and I made $32,000 that day. It's just one day.
Yeah,
It was a pop from like
yeah,
78 to 97, and I had a gazillion shares.
yeah.
And I said, thank God I forgot to.
Cover calls, my favorite.
Cover calls are terrible. The wheel strategy should be called like the wheel to lose. That's it.
The will to lose. No, look, you know what? Wheel strategy works when the market's grinding like this, right? All you're doing, look, man, I said this on the chat, I'm sure you saw it, right? Here's my opinion on cover calls. On the way up, you're a prisoner. On the way down, you have no protection. Emperor has no close. Emperor has no close. So either way, during the crash, when it happened, you're going to have all the cover calls on the planet. You're eating it. Stock goes down 50%. You have a $1 option that you put out.
I think when the cover call works and the wheel strategy works when you're doing SPY, right? Because SPY drifts up.
I don't know.
You have some bumps on the road, but you can manage. You can roll and manage. But on individual underlyings, I was trying to just reduce the cost basis of Nike, and I was doing okay, $125, $150 a week, and just chopping away at it. Yeah. And earnings week, you never sell cover calls on earnings week. I'm an idiot. And I said, oh God. When I saw the stock in the morning, $72, I go, oh Jesus, this is bad. I rolled. I kicked the can down the road, and I said, all right, I'll take care of this later on. What I'm expecting is a Starbucks situation, because Starbucks went up to 118, and it's now at 92. Yeah. So if I can, manage the roll. Yeah. But now I'm naked. I'm down.
But again, you know what? You can. I've heard these all types of stories about cover calls. Ultimately, I say, be a man.
Take the hit.
Be a man.
Let me tell you something that I'm trying. Let me tell you something that I'm trading as a test. So I'm trading a very simple iron fly, open in the morning.
Yeah.
And if the call or the put side get challenged, I roll the trade. Yeah. But I roll like I have the break even, and I roll the break even up or down. And last week I'm doing it with XSP, so small trade, right? Just to kind of get the gist of what it works, the mechanics of the trade. Yeah. And I had a trade, $900 in buying power, so 3 contracts, and I collected. The max profit was 216, which is just, like I said, just a trade. Yeah. And I ended up collecting 52, so it's 30% of the iron fly, and it wasn't horrible. Just kind of managing. I added one trade, then I added another fly, and added another fly. None of the stops were challenged. Okay. And on 0 DTE, if you're trading small and you start with XSP, you can bump up to like 10 contracts, and you can manage the trade pretty aggressively and end up in a good position at the end of the day. But you just got to be in front of the computer the whole day.
Yeah, well, that's my problem, right? I can't be. I do so many different things, and then
the same thing with me.
What I do for me is perfect, right? I set up things, I trim things, and then I look at it a couple hours a day. Everything is working. Shorts are going down, longs are going up, whatever. It's like on autopilot kind of. So I would love to do more of the 0 DTs, iron condors and flies and things like that. But then you need to literally be stuck, because one tweet, you're in max loss. I'm like, no.
I saw that you were trading an underlying called We Ride. What is We Ride? Is it a competitor?
We Ride is the Waymo of China.
I didn't know that company.
Yeah, are they China? They have a deal with Uber for the Middle East and Europe with $100 million deal, and they have NVIDIA owns about 4% of WeRide as well. And
it's amazing! It's a beautiful base, huh? Jesus.
Yeah, well, we traded it between like 7 and 11, and then now back in it again. Just back and forth. But I like that space. And then WeRide's competitor is called Pony AI, Pony. Mm-hmm. And so I put a pair trade on, actually. I was short Pony and long WRD.
Yep, got it.
That worked beautifully. But now there are rumors that Travis Kalanick, the old ex-CEO founder of Uber, is about to buy Pony AI.
Oh, shit.
Right. So to get back in the game. So I am very bullish in that space. Not because WeRide is going to come to the US, but there are already literally thousands of cars in China doing autonomous rides. And when Uber stepped in, that's when the stock went from like 7 to 11 and a half, 12. And now Uber's partnering with them in about 30 countries to put autonomous vehicles out. So I'm very bullish on the group. I like it. As long as it's doing what it's doing, I'm going to keep accumulating it. And that's where we are with that one.
Yeah, maybe on the WeRide thing, maybe I'll buy 1,000 shares just to get started, or maybe 500 shares. What do you think a good open trade like?
Yeah, I've been buying 500 shares. I sold it all up in the 10 pluses. Now I'm started accumulating again. Yeah, 500, or you can do like why don't you do like a long strangle? Why don't you buy 500 shares, sell 5 puts, 7.5 puts, and sell 10 calls for July? I'll bet you'll get some decent money out of that.
Yeah, it's a weird chart just because it was so high, right? The high.
Well, that first day, when it went to 40 in one day, that's when Nvidia announced that they own 5% of the company.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah, and then it bled all the way here. Then I got down to 6, and I'm going like, okay, well, cash position is good every day, although they're burning cash, obviously. But then I said, because the premiums were really, really good. And then I started the whole thing with the long strangle, actually, when the stock was 7. I sold 7.5 puts, sold 10 calls, and bought the shares. So long strangle, folks, is you buy the shares, you sell a put, you sell a call. That way, if you do get assigned, you'll end up buying more shares, but you're long the shares.
You're long the shares.
You're not naked, you know. So you know, now I'm just, you know how much I love cover calls, right? So we had a bet going with Zaven in the group. I go, I'm gonna do you all a favor. I'm gonna sell the cover call so the fucking thing can go up. And then I sold the calls reluctantly. The July 10.
Immediately went up 15%.
Immediately went up. Immediately, like literally within an hour. And I'm going like, yep. So I told him, I go, I did it for you guys. I'm taking a bullet for you guys. Because Zaven lives in Burbank nearby, right? And I'm his workplace. I said, if this thing goes to 10 and I have the cover calls and you all make money, you don't have cover calls, I'm going to wear a pink tutu and come to your workplace. That's what I said. But anyway, so we'll see where that goes. But all my positions are really, really just exactly where I want them. So I'm not going to question much. The strangle was a thing.
The position that you had on Circle,
yeah,
that was pretty crazy because the IV on that underlying collapsed like just from one day to another. You made a ton of money just out of the blue from the IV collapse because
on two options on two, and I just did it because I need to do it because the numbers didn't make sense. On two options, initial position was 140 puts, 340 calls.
I remember it was like $200 wide. Yeah. It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
And $200 wide, I collected like $37.
I remember. No, the amount of money that you collected was pathetic. I was like, what is going on with the the idea of this underlying, because they're paying so much money to do it.
Somebody bought it.
I told you, sometimes I don't understand. Like, I know the dealers are on both sides of the market, so they're making the market, and obviously they're taking trades as well.
Yeah.
But man, 37, that's rough. Oof.
Yeah. So when the stock was like 280 and I put it on 140, 340, now I bought the calls, it died. So I bought the calls back and I rolled them down to 320, 330. I added to the position actually. Then I put the 120, 320, and now 140, 330. Still almost 200 wide.
You still like ridiculous.
You still can get $7 for it, 200 wide. Think about it. And then there's only 18 days to go now, right? So I'm like,
those crazy Tesla days where the IV goes up on Tesla and they have these ridiculous payout available. So that was a great trade. But I promised I was going to be more active in the group just because I've been out with my work. Well, but I miss everybody.
No, I know. But you got to do what you got to do, man. And the important thing is you stay healthy and don't go sprain your ankle and shit.
Don't go sprain your ankle anymore. Okay, I'll talk to you later. You're the best.
So,
you want to talk to me?
No. I have a question for you. I have 3 more minutes. So, what do you think about the shorting the stock, shorting the put ideas?
Shorting the stock, shorting the put.
Yeah.
So, I think if you want to get a sign, you should be okay.
I'm short the stock.
Yeah.
I'm
So the
short the stock.
cover put. So cover puts. If cover puts are more difficult to manage than cover calls.
Of course.
But because if it tanks, it really tanks hard, and you lose. Like the IV expansion hurts you badly, but you're protected because you have the you're shorting the stock. So I'm afraid of IV expansion in that case because the IV doesn't collapse, it actually expands. But outside of that, I think it's perfectly valid strategy. I don't see any problem with it.
Okay. So that's what we're going to do a lot more because I think market's getting a little frothy up here. So
it's a little frothy. Yeah, I agree with you. I'm afraid, looking at the it feels toppy to me because of this 6100 level felt pretty toppy to me, but man, it's an unstoppable force. People just the TINA trade is in full effect. There's no other way, there's no other place to put your money. Bitcoin.
Yeah, but you know what it is though? You know what it is? I think volatility is going to pick up, right? So you have the July 9th is the deadline for the 90-day extension of the tariffs.
Yep.
And I think volatility being that, VIX being down to 15.5, 16 is for me is not the time to sell premium. It's actually time to buy premium.
To buy premium.
So you know what? And buy some hedges. Have more balance than anything else. So that's what I'm trying to do, and that's what I'm
I think you're gonna like. I think you're gonna like a trade that I'm putting on. So I'm experimenting a little bit. We'll call calendar spreads.
Okay.
Hoping for IV expansion. So right now, ideally, we would be in the 15s, 14s to do this.
Yeah.
But at 16, I think it's doable.
Okay.
I contacted Schwab to complain that they weren't allowing me to do it. But what I was gonna do. I was going to do a monthly long at the money, or at least one strike above the money, and then buy the shorts and just hope for the expansion, right?
Okay.
And just close the trade weekly.
Yeah.
And Schwab hated me for that because the exposure. I'm naked. I'm naked on the long. I'm naked on the short. I said, I have the money on the account. I should be okay. They're like, no. You have to make a spread. I said, I don't want to do a spread. I want to do a calendar, like a traditional calendar. So they asked me, they asked me to do it on SPY. So I'll do it on SPY because I can hold the shares and they can calculate the bound power. So it should be okay. Okay,
cool. All right, good to see you. I'm on a run.
Good to see you too.
We miss you, but you gotta do what you gotta do. But the chat's alive. They're learning, Marcia. They're learning.
Oh, I know. And I'm very proud. Everybody's going crazy. I'm very active. Yeah. I think when the market tanks, everybody's a little sad and
no, this time is going to be different because this time they're learning how to short.
Well, with shorting, shorting is a big deal. So one day I taught my father-in-law to short, and I said, do a scan every morning, find the things that are popping, and just short, but short small and see how it goes. And he started making money. Yeah. And he was like, oh, so I could short stocks? I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, you make 3 times as fast as you
for sure. No, when they take the elevator down, right? So you make money faster.
Yeah. All right, I'll see you.
You're the best. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks, everybody.
All right, folks, that's the show. I may be back tomorrow. Please subscribe, share, turn on all notifications so you're notified when I'm live. I'm glad the microphone is working. I'm glad you guys can hear me and see me because we have kind of a new setup here. I'm testing. Manny P, good morning. You came in late. Sorry. All right, I'm going to jump back at the chat. I'll post my trades there. If you become a member, email me, sergio@sergioavedian.com. I'll send you the Telegram chat group. None of this is trading or financial advice. With that said, have a great week. Let's effing go.